Hi, Jurnee, Jill Munroe, KBLA, Talk 1580. So we talked a little bit about how Michelle is her own interesting persona as she's stepping into this world and examining all of these people in it with all of their interactions. What is her mindset and first impression when she meets Dave, and how does that change throughout the series, sort of comparing it with, I feel as though there's a little bit of her inner turmoil that comes out in her assessment and work. So,
Yes, absolutely. The way I approach their first interaction, for one, she's read all his files. She knows more about him than she's going to let on because she doesn't want to disarm him. I mean, she doesn't want to intimidate him. She knows he don't want her there, and she don't want to be there. Okay, she's been demoted because of her situation with Burke and him, almost trying to get revenge for her breaking up with him. Um, and so she kind of looks at this place, she takes it on as a challenge, all right, you know, underestimate me, watch me. I'm a catch him, right? But I think her approach with Dave, or my approach when doing that scene, was teach me. Professor, you're the expert. Your reputation is, all around. It's look at these awards. Let's, feed into his ego. I think she's, again, worked in a male-dominated field. She understands that her presence can sometimes be intimidating, and with someone like him, she needs him, frankly. So yeah, the approach was very much so, let me humble myself. I don't know anything about what you know, so I want to learn from you, Mr. Professor. Let's go and teach me what you know in the field, right? Like feed into that male ego in a way. And then it quickly is like, look, motherfucker, like we ain't gonna, I outrank you. We not gonna do this, Like she couldn't really make it last too long because the real Michelle came out. But what I loved with Michelle is she has a mask that she's capable of putting up. And when does she decide to wear that mask? And, when does she not? You know,
a little bit about your research into arsonists and what makes them tick, and so to speak. How do you think Michelle's relationship to fire is? Because we see different moments of its impact, but what do you think her thought process is on her relationship with fire?
so when I first met with Dennis, we talked about that, the fire being a metaphor for this force in her life that she's drawn to. It's part of that creation destruction pattern where he said to me, he said, Journey, we all say we want to be happy, and yet sometimes we are often drawn to the very things that will destroy us. And that is Michelle in a sentence, you know, um, where it's like, all right, whether it's a toxic relationship or her inability to overcome her childhood trauma or her need to be a workaholic and prove herself, in the workplace, she's in these toxic patterns and drawn to the things that keep her not feeling safe, that keep her not feeling happy, that keep her away from being actually the best version of herself. And I think that's a universal thing we can all relate to. While the details might be different in our life, we all either have currently or in the past or will in the future struggle with being enticed by those elements that are destructive, and that fight against us achieving the best and becoming the best version of ourselves.
Amazing. Thank you for your answer.